Alright, this is a continuation of the previous file. I took my hat off because it's gotten a little warmer out. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow San Diegoans, fellow Americans, and fellow human beings worldwide. And the reason why I say worldwide is because I'm totally aware that this is going on in other countries as well. That's one of the reasons why I was introduced to the United Targeted Individuals Europe.com webpage, even though right now it looks like they took that website down. But there is still some YouTube videos in reference to United Targeted Individuals. Go to YouTube and type in United Targeted Individuals Europe, and then space, and then extended version, and look at the YouTube video, and you'll understand exactly what's happening towards me. My name is Leslie Williams. When I was in my last apartment in Dearborn, Michigan, where I was gang-stalked on a feverish scale, poisoned, had my apartment broken into, you would not believe what happened to me in that apartment. Electrically shocked. Yeah. What I did was I hung pictures on my wall of American families. I looked at them as families, just of any family, no matter what country you're in. And I would look at these pictures when I woke up in the morning and when I came home at night. Okay, I made sure that they were directly by my bed, because it helped me remember in my moments of extreme despair, like when I was poisoned, why I do what I do, why I expose what I expose, because they came after me. And if they're going to come after me, just an average Joe, and in my previous video I mentioned that I was a human experimentation target my whole life. Let me help you understand the factual reality of how I've been a human experimentation target my whole life. To get a thorough and investigative understanding of what's happened to me, you'll be able to go to YouTube and type in the Blue Beam Project. Do it, okay? Because it's not just happening to me. Yeah. I was literally a target of the Blue Beam Project when I was little. I was born in 63. They were using it on me by the time I was at least in 69, 68, 69. And where I grew up at, 11812 Braille, Detroit, Michigan, 48128. If you Google that, because I Googled it 2 days ago, again for the third time, and after I Googled it 3 days ago, it brought me up to a picture of that house I grew up in. And then what I did was I clicked on the picture twice with the mouse, and then it brought the picture up in a big view. Then what I did was, as a result of using MapQuest enough, because when I've been having to look up previous addresses at different places, I knew that I could take the mouse and click on the white button and hold it down and then move the map, and then it'll move the map to where I can look at other streets that are on the map that aren't in perfect view until you move the map. So I did the same thing with the picture of a house, 11812 Braille, Detroit, Michigan, 48128. I right-clicked on the picture after it was blown up and moved it, and as a result, it showed the pictures of the house that were down the street. Do that, and guess what you'll look at? 2 huge radio towers, 1/2 block away. I used to ride my bike down and play underneath them. I broke into a garage when I was little. I was only like, I think 10 years old. I was curious. I was exploring, and I broke into a garage that was abandoned, and right next to it. I remember it. Anyways, I'm about to show you a picture right now. Radio towers 100% have to do with remote neural monitoring and human experimentation. How was I able to see a holographic picture of Jesus Christ when I was little? With radio towers not even 15 houses away. Right down the street from where I was living. And I forgot to mention in the previous digital file, my dad was Chief MP to Curtis LeMay, but he also had extensive college-level education in electrical engineering, and when he got out, he applied for the Aerospace Union in the very state I was born in, which I'm not going to mention right now because I got to be careful about how much information I share online about me personally. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture. It's a magazine. It says family on it, a beautiful young little girl on a bicycle, right into the new year. This is the reason, in part, why I do what I do. That child could either be white, black, Hindu, Muslim, I don't care. I do what I do for the simple fact that I know that, because there's a lot more that's happened to me than just human experimentation. Projected holographs, and you would not believe what else I have seen, literally. Okay? Also, neuroimplantation. Go to Google and type in Oakwood Hospital, Doctor, Dearborn, Michigan. Excuse me. Caught implanting hundreds of kids under the guise of epilepsy in the year, I think it was 2000, it was between 2007 and 2009. The same exact literal hospital and the same exact calendar years that they shipped me to, that I was due to go into by people that had infiltrated my life, who were part of this GangStalking expedition before I fully became aware that they were, and before I even knew what GangStalking was. In the same calendar years he was doing this to these children. He got caught and split to Saudi Arabia, where he then was doing it in Saudi Arabia and got caught because it was on the news there, and a guy from the military that was watching satellite TV saw it on the news, and he posted it online that he was doing it there and got caught there. Man. Go to Freedom Fighters for America, freedomfightersforamerica.com. On their webpage, you'll view an x-ray of Terry Parker Jr., 1969, x-rays of him with 47 metallic implants put in his brain under the guise of epilepsy. We got an individual by the name of Terry Parker Jr. having 47 metallic implants put in his head under the guise of epilepsy in 1969. In 1969, under the guise of epilepsy, and then another doctor doing it in 2008 or 2009 at Oakwood Hospital in Dearborn, Michigan, implanting hundreds of kids under the guise of epilepsy who did not have epilepsy. I go to the same law firm that was handling the class action lawsuit in reference to those children. Yeah, the Benner Law Firm, and within a month I was evicted from where I was living. I was contacting the Amnesty International, the ACLU, going down to the newspaper's office and everything in August of 2010. Next month I got an eviction from my apartment. So I ended up having to move and go camping. Yeah. Then when I just started discovering all the stuff about the Benner Law Firm, and about the children being implanted, and knowing that I was due to go in the hospital in those same calendar years, and you would not believe what I went through at that hospital. I went to the Benner Law Firm, and within a month, I was literally evicted from my campsite by the Dearborn Police. The Dearborn Police and the Dearborn Fire Department were I've seen women and young men literally break down before my eyes that were being shipped to that hospital in the very same social group setting that the individuals that were directly attached to who did this to me as an adult, because I've been tracked my whole life. My life has literally been maneuvered and steered, and while these maneuvering and steerings were going on by these individuals that were doing it from behind the scenes, they were putting people in my life along my path for me to become friends with them, and that's how I ended up knowing them. It was nothing but managed and maneuvered, steered social relationships. My ex-husband was as well. I can't explain my whole life in one 15-minute YouTube video. I caught 3 gang stalkers. They were nothing but 3 teenage kids that were put on the bus, who were directed to get on the bus and engage in gang stalking physical gestures, which are directly tied to sensitization campaigns of gang stalking. Go to www.gangstalkingload.com, go into their techniques page, and view sensitization. Also go to YouTube and type in gang stalking and sensitization. In this comments feature of this particular YouTube video, I'm going to show you a YouTube video, okay, of an individual who is saying the same exact thing about in reference to how they harass him is in part one of the main things of what they're doing to me out here in San Diego. Because they have to be very careful. The manager and director who's hosting the street theaters that go on towards me and the harassment that goes on towards me, they're aware through the cyber surveillance and the physical tracking of everything that I do. I am gang stalked on a feverish scale at a particular retail store that I go to, MW. Okay, I gotta say that carefully. MW. Okay? I gotta say that carefully. And as a result, my purchases are literally monitored. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, literally go to YouTube and type in gang stalking in San Diego and review Sylvia L. Morales' YouTube videos. And you'll come to understand they're doing the same thing to her. And also, I've already mentioned in here about how they caused eviction for my last apartment in September 2010. They did that by stealing my rent that was mailed United States Postal Service return receipt. Sylvia L. Morales is saying the same thing, that they're stealing her credit card payments that she mails certified mail return receipt. Google gang stalking and postal carriers, gang stalking and mail theft and mail deployment. Because they create destitution in order to exploit the destitution by trying to claim that the target can't take care of themselves, in order to take over the target's finances, to exploit their Medicare, and to exploit them sexually. That's part of the money-making angle that they want to engage in off one particular target. They also make money off the human experimentation as well. I caught 3 physical individuals that had been solicited to get on the bus in the morning of the 28th. It's either the 28th or the 29th. What's today? It's the 28th. The morning of the 28th. I got up. I gotta make this really fast. I got up and I made statements in my digital tape recorder like I do every morning about where I was going to be going. SDSU. Went there, used the computer for 2 hours, left there, went to take the Green Line trolley back to Hazard Center where I was going to go watch a movie at, which I did. I went and saw the movie Man on the Ledge. I left from there, went to a restaurant, and then left from there and went to the bus stop. Bus came, got on the bus, and they were already on the, I think they were already on the bus, but they were sitting in the way back. And when I got on the bus, what I've been doing lately is reading newspapers, so I don't have to make eye contact with any of the freaks they put on the bus. So I was reading my paper. Then my bus came up to a bus stop that I got off at. I got off the bus, and they that were sitting in the back are the same individuals that got on the bus when I was on the very first bus to go to SDSU and had got on the bus and engaged in gang-stalking activities of putting their hands to their face like this. They were on the bus and got off at the bus at the same time I got off the bus. And when I started walking down the street, I heard them behind me, so I turned and noticed it was them. So I literally approached them and said, "Hey, weren't you the guys that were on the bus this morning?" I go, and then I said, see if I can remember correctly what I said. I go, "Weren't you the ones that got on the bus and were putting your hands to your face trying to get my attention?" And they literally admitted it and told me that they were solicited to do it by an individual by the name of, I think his name is Jamar. Yeah, his name is Jamar. I don't know any Jamar. I don't know anybody here. I was literally gang-stalked on the Greyhound bus to come here. I was literally gang-stalked from the very second I got off that Greyhound bus and caught the first MTS bus. Yeah, to find a place to ride my bike and then find a place to hike out at. Yeah, So I already knew I was being gang-stalked. I got 10 full years of being an open gang-stalking target. And one thing I've learned in this expedition is don't get acquainted with anybody because they literally infiltrate your family's life, intimate infiltration, and your friend's life. They'll put people on your path to try and get them to introduce themselves in a friendly manner so you'll become friends with them so they can screw you over. This is literally what they do. So my goal has been from the get-go, don't get involved with no one. Because I know how they operate. You gotta remember, look at how many days are in 1 year. 365 or 356. Okay, in 1 year. I have been a target of this openly every single day for 10 years. I know exactly what I'm talking about and how they operate. Okay? So my goal was to come out here, and I was gang-stalked here out in 2006 before I even knew what gang-stalking was, and I got the email files to prove it. Because I was describing what was happening to me, and everything that I was describing are gang-stalking tactics. Okay? So I knew I was going to be gang-stalked out here. I was gang-stalked on the Greyhound bus to here. Okay? So my goal was to not introduce myself to no one, and to not get involved with no one in any way, shape, or form. Just totally mind my own business. And since I was gang-stalked from the second I got off the Greyhound bus here, I knew that it was already automatically happening to me here again. Yeah, so my goal is to stay totally 100% away from everybody as far as introducing myself to anybody, as far as my name goes, and as far as opening up and telling anybody that these things are happening to me unless I necessarily have to, and if I do that, it will be in an informative nature in reference to, like when I talk to the San Diego police when I've had to after being assaulted, I say, look, I'm a target of gang-stalking. You can go to www.gangstalkingworld.com to become familiar with how they operate. Flat out. Anyways, I caught them admitting that they were solicited to get on the bus and engage in the gang-stalking physical gestures that they did. They literally flat out admitted it and told me who solicited them to do it, a guy by the name of Jamar. Okay? I got it on video file. I got it on video file as far as a picture of them. And I already explained in the previous YouTube video that I'm not going to be uploading that right now because of them having the capabilities to literally access this video camera. I've literally shown proof that they can do that in the previous video file. I got to stop this right now. It happened on January 28, 2012. My name is Leslie Williams, and make sure that you go to the next video in this YouTube comments feature to see the continuation of this one.